All right, good day. And all right, this is my episode 10, which means I think what I said a little while ago. I think was I was gonna every 5 episodes I'd re-roll for Destiny. So I've kind of reset my Destiny points to 0 and 0. As I only have one PC at the moment. One dark side. Okay, so we're going to start with a dark side point. And due to just things kind of going fairly well for our hero, Captain Jax Kellen here, our chaos factor has actually dropped to 3 with this scene, I believe. With this, yes. So things have kind of stayed in his control the last few scenes, so the chaos factor continues to drop. I think I'm doing this right. But we're going to be heading into episode 10, which I've simply kind of titled "Get Me Off This Rock." In our last episode here, Jax and his new temporary ally, a bounty hunter by the name of Anord Skyrider. That was a name randomly generated using Womp Rats. He was kind of loaned out to Jax by Black Sun. Anord works for himself, but one of his frequent clients is Black Sun. If you're watching this and you're not sure what Black Sun is, in Edge of the Empire they set up the Black Sun crime syndicate. It's kind of like, I think it's kind of meant to be the big bad. I don't really know. I haven't really read through too many of the regular. Actually, I've pretty much read through none of the standard adventures that Fantasy Flight Games released. Aside from kind of looking through the beginner box stuff, which more has to do with pissing off a hut, I believe. But Black Sun is kind of set up as like the big crime syndicate that the player characters potentially interact with, and I've kind of used them because they're kind of. I read this somewhere, and I think, but I'm kind of going with this. I don't know whether this is canon or not with the Edge of the Empire, but they're rivals of the Hutt cartels. I know that's not the correct word. It's Hutt. It's not cartel. It's something else that they call them, I believe. But frankly, at the moment, I can't remember what it is, so we'll go with cartel. They're rivals of the Hutt cartel, so they kind of learned of Jax's issues on Tatooine in that he was ripped off by Jabba the Hutt's basically hired thugs. Jabba kind of has his hand in many pies on Tatooine and throughout the sector, and probably this part of the Outer Rim. Probably going beyond the sector to the quadrants and such like that. So he has a bunch of security guards, security detail guards, throughout, basically law enforcement and security and such, all in his pocket. So he had a security detail that Jax at first thought was there to help him, and then they robbed him blind. In the last episode, Jax and Anord tracked these guys down. Black Sun kind of wanted to help Jax get some revenge with the idea that eventually Jax owes them a favor. Never really kind of figured out what that favor is. Jax just went for it because if he doesn't get this, he's going to be, if he doesn't get the cargo back and make the delivery, he's going to be on really bad terms with Vex On, who is the one who gave him this job. And Jax has been down on his luck in a big way ever since I started this campaign. At the moment, what's our credit log say here? At the moment, Jax is down to his last 80 galactic credits. He's he really needs this. He really needs this win. So in the last episode, Jax and Anord tracked down the what was left of the security detail that robbed Jax to an apartment complex in Mos Eisley. Essentially, and basically, they kind of created a bit of a ruse where Anord claimed to be, with Jabba and kind of checking in on them to collect the cargo that they had not yet delivered. Meanwhile, Jax threw us, as Anord is distracting them, Jax tosses a stun grenade through the window, knocks two of them right out. Now, I did things a little bit wrong there. I was doing damage with a stun item. I was doing damage to their wounds. Rather, I should have been doing it to to their strain instead. So things kind of got a little out of hand. But when we finished, one of them basically, well, when we finished, two of the security detail that were of the three that were there were definitely shot down by Jax, who one had taken cover, wasn't affected by the stun grenade, was starting to blast back, and he'd shot Anord, and in a hail of blaster fire, try that again, through the window. Jax shot the one down and saw movement out of the corner of his eye and blasted the other one. It was one of the ones that had been stunned starting to stir. That is the way I'd kind of seen things, how they planned out, or how they played out. I wasn't really, not entirely sure if that was entirely to the Edge of the Empire rules, exactly how all that played out, but that's kind of how things worked out for me. We're going to kind of kick things off again here, now that we have, so I've made a note. So Jax currently is owed 5,250 credits, assuming he is able to complete the delivery. Which, the first thing we're going to do, the expected scene that I figure we're going into here, oops, sorry, wrong PDF, is scene 15. Do I have that right? I do have that right. I'm expecting this to be kind of a cargo delivery scene spread across a couple of different parts, basically kind of breaking up the scene, where Jax is going to attempt to deliver the freight to Professor Thalos Vexar, who we haven't seen since a couple episodes ago now. Everything was kind of disrupted by the security, well, by another hired gun that Jabba had hired to try to rip Jax off, and things didn't quite really go so well there. Right, we kind of scan back here. Grax, that was it. Grax Vorgel, who was attempting to steal the cargo from Jax. However, he was planning on betraying Jabba himself and kind of selling the contents off himself, and that didn't go so well for him because Jabba knows everything that's going on Tatooine, and knew that this hired gun was gonna betray him, so sent in the security detail to make sure that cargo was became his. Thankfully, things have not quite worked out this way. Jax has retrieved the cargo, and as they're returning to the ship, we're just going to kind of do a quick check here, make sure that nothing changes. So we got a chaos factor of 3. Roll a d10. Okay, that's a 2. Okay, so that's going to change things. So the expected scene is not going to happen. We're going to have an interrupt scene. Now I'm going to push this. This may happen in scene 16, so we need an interrupt scene. So we need to create a random event here. Just kind of flipping through my charts and such here. So choosing the event focus. So on a random event. Alright, so cargo delivery is not going to be happening this scene. We may be coming back to that. Instead, we get an interrupt scene. With apologies, I do kind of like the... Part of the reason I record these, I don't think... it looks like a few people have looked at my videos. I kind of record these mostly for myself. I like the idea of a record of this game. In fact, let's just make sure that everything is recording properly. Yes, it apparently is. So, I kind of do this mostly for myself. I could have just uploaded these to YouTube and set them to private or something, but I decided to allow anybody to potentially find them and come here and see what silliness I've been up to. and trying to figure out, like, basically, if you have looked at any of these, you know that I've been figuring out solitaire role playing in this fashion. I know there's many different ways of playing solo RPGs. I've been figuring this all out as I go along. So, interrupt C, random event. So we're going to roll percentile dice and check our random event focus table, which we're going to get an even 10. An ambiguous event. Okay. These can be tough. So an ambiguous event, so the adventure has slowed and you are ready for a mystery to pursue. No, I'm really not. So our random event here. Ambiguous event. I'm not really sure how to deal with ambiguous events. Let's just roll for our meaning tables here. We'll just do action. Actions? Is that the best way to deal with this? Let me take a look. Elements? No. Probably not elements. Still struggle a little bit with mythic. And try to figure out exactly how I should be dealing with things. So I'm thinking, yeah. So okay, I'm thinking yes. We're just gonna check the actions here. So action 1 table here is 38. Drop. And on action 2 table, 84. Strength. Oh, drop strength. This could be going poorly for Jack. So an ambiguous event. On their way back to the docking bay, Jack strikes up a conversation with Anord, going, "Well, look, Anord, this has been something. I appreciate the help. I know Black Sun was kind of footing the bill for this, but look, due to our most recent events here with the security guys, I'm thinking it's going to be best that I get off of Tatooine as soon as possible. They'd already warned me before I went after them. Now I'm thinking the Hutt's going to be really cranky. I'd really rather still be alive tomorrow. But look, you're here on Tatooine as well. You also participated. I'm just thinking maybe you want to come with. Like, you know, even for part of the way, I don't really know where I'm going yet. I'm going to see if I can pick up some work before leaving. But I'm thinking, you know, maybe we head out. We partner up for a little while. You're a bounty hunter. Maybe just, you know, between my smuggling, you're searching for bounties. You know, I've got a ship. We can maybe kind of share a little bit of work for a while. And Anord looks at him and goes, "Yeah, well, I thought about that too there, Jax, but sorry, I kind of forget. I think I kind of had an Australian accent of some sort there, but I think I've kind of completely lost it. I do not do voices very well. Yeah, about that, Jax. I hate to break it to you there, boy, but I'm afraid this is a one-time deal for me. I've got work elsewhere here on Tatooine, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to be. I'm gonna get you back to your ship. I'll get you back to the spaceport, but after that, it's so long, my friend. It's been nice working with you, but this is a one-time deal for me." Unfortunately, this is the way things go for Jax. Never quite works out well, and I'm thinking ambiguous. I don't know whether that's ambiguous enough, but dropping strength. He just lost the hired muscle that he was hoping might stick around. And so when they returned to the spaceport, here's the ambiguous part. They kind of as they begin to kind of depart, and Jack says his goodbyes, thanks him once again. Anord looks at him and he says, "Well, Jax, I hope we meet on good terms like this again in the future. Jabba's gonna be looking for you, and if he's angry enough, well, there'll be a bounty on you. Let's hope we don't meet that way." And Anord turns and with a little salute and walks off, leaving Jax thinking, does he have a potential ally in the future or a potential enemy? Call it so long, sucker. We're gonna kind of move on here. So that is basically our scene 15. We just kind of fill that sucker out here. An ally or enemy after... Jesus, I can't type again tonight. Alright, we'll just kind of leave it at that. That should kind of do it there, I think. Which means we're going to kind of move on to... We'll move back at our scene 16. I'm just going to kind of grab this. Now, that was not really Jax's control, so I think we're going to bump the chaos factor to 4 there, okay? Jax didn't really have much control there. It didn't go spectacularly well on his part. I should make some notes here in my my session notes here. Alright, that should kind of summarize things. So, scene 16. We kind of had our interrupt scene. I still think the next scene is probably going to be moving back into what I expected for scene 15. Yeah, I don't think anything should change. I think once again we're going after the cargo delivery scene. I'm not entirely sure if I should be testing the scene again after we've just had a scene, but I think we should. Let's just do it. So we're now in chaos factor of 4. I should probably update that in here as well, because I do believe that did not really go... Jax had no control over that scene. He tried to exert some control. It didn't really work so well. So we're going to test the scene again. We'll roll a d10 with a 3. That means an altered scene. Alright, so when we get to altered scene, modify the scene using one of the strategies below. The default method is the next expectation of the scene. We can tweak it by changing one element in the expected scene. We can ask a fate question. We can go to our meaning tables, Or a scene adjustment table. Where's the scene adjustment table? Why don't we check that out? I don't think I've messed with that. So I'm going to look for the scene adjustment table. I should probably spend some more time flipping through some of the meaning tables. Scene adjustment table. Okay, let's use this. 1. Remove a character. Whoa. Okay, interesting. Remove a character. Remove a character from the scene. So we're really kind of expecting the scene to be Jax, Kay, and Vex. Probably. Jackson. Or sorry, not Vex. My apologies. Thalos. Remove a character. Remove a character. Well, I suppose the thing that makes the most sense in this is Jax returns to the Driftwood. With his cargo, and he puts the cargo down in the. Actually, I guess we can kind of do this because I do have this. So, well, Anord's gone. We can get rid of his token here. So yeah, Jax kind of enters, and why don't we just kind of randomize where Kay's going to be? So that was a D12 I just rolled. So I rolled a 7. Kay's going to kind of be somewhere in the main hold. Don't know what she's doing at the moment, but Jax kind of returns. And he's going to place the cargo once again in the one of the cargo holds here. So I'm actually just going to say, just as a note, that's where we put them. The kyber crystals once again in their metal crate here have been just set inside the cargo hold. Jax doesn't have smuggling compartments. It's something he really needs to outfit his ship with. However, as I noted earlier, we have a credit problem. Jax is broke as fuck. Jax comes in, he sets the kyber crystals down, and doesn't even bother looking for Kay. Just kind of makes his way to the cockpit, sits down, and brings up his holo terminal. Punches in the coordinates to contact the professor. Beep, 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 and there's no answer. So with no answer, he leaves a quick holo message. Professor, I just wanted to touch base. This is of course Jax Kellen. Just wanted to let you know that I've solved the little problem we had earlier, and I have something for you. You can find me here at the spaceport in Docking Bay 72. Just make a note of that. And then maybe we can conclude our business, because I really want to get off this rock. Okay, but Vex, wrong character, sorry. But he's not there. He does not answer, and Jax kicks back for a while. And after a couple of hours of sitting around, the good professor is still not contacted him. Somewhere during this time, Kay comes and finds Jax, and kind of sits down. The two of them, end up kind of kicking back in the cockpit a little bit. I better make my notes here. So, I'm getting too many characters maybe kind of mixed up here, and I have not been able to play the last couple of weeks. So, all right. So, with no, unfortunately, we got no idea where the hell the professor is, and he's not picking up, and he's not returning Jax's call. I'm thinking the professor, Jax is probably starting to assume this too. I'm not going to ask a fake question at the moment. We'll get to that if we need to, but Jax is starting to think that the professor has gotten spooked. So instead, Jax is going to send an intragalactic holo message to Vex. And records himself kind of sitting there, kick back, kind of just in the resting pose, which of course is now all being recorded as a holo. Hey Vex, it's Jax. Slight problem. We had a small interruption, but I do have the cargo, but I don't have a buyer. Get back to me. I need to know what to do with this, because the professor is not answering my holos. Boom. Okay. So I'm thinking, yeah, the professor's gotten cold feet, right? All right, now we'll go to a fake question. Okay. Does Vex get back to Jax today? Let's find out. So I need to get to my fake charts here. So we're on Chaos Factor 4. I'm thinking I'm just going to go with a 50-50. Let's increase that to very likely, because this is worth, a few credits to Vex. So 65 or under. 55. Okay, yes. He does get back to Jax. So I'm gonna roll a D6. We'll call that the number of hours it takes for Vex to get back. 1 hour. Okay, that's quick. So about an hour later. Okay, now we need to know, because Vex is going to be leaving sending a holo message through basically kind of cross sectors across the galaxy. So these are never one-on-one live communications generally in Star Wars, right? At least when it comes to this kind of thing, I believe the Empire has better abilities to communicate live, but I don't know. So the holos arrived. So what we now need to know, as the professor backed out, I'm just going to call it a 50-50. Has the professor backed out? 14. Yes, the professor is backed out. So Vex message indicates that the professor, that Professor Vexar, try that again, has indeed backed out of the deal. I just kind of, the holo comes in. Yes. If I calculate Vex is Rhodian. Yes, Jax, this is Vex. Yes, the professor has unfortunately backed out of the deal. We're going to have a discussion about proper client management in the future. For now, though, we need to find another buyer. Stay tuned. That's a problem. That is a problem for Jax. Jax isn't all that happy. He went to the trouble. He said his deal was to deliver to Tatooine. So no, he's not gonna stand for this. He needs to be paid. So to make things a little simpler here, some hollows back and forth. All right. Jax expects to be paid. He got these things here to Tatooine. He suffered a lot of injuries. He's going to have some scars to show from this whole thing. So no, he expects to be paid. He got them here to Tatooine. That's what he was paid to do. The professor refuses to accept the cargo. That isn't Jax's problem, and that is basically kind of what he indicates to Vex. We're going to go with negotiation here. So I'm going to turn to our negotiation skills here. Where are the skills? A moment. Skills. So negotiation, I think that's kind of what we're talking about here. This is not necessarily Jax's strength. Alright, so typically this would be opposed by the subject's negotiation or cool. I think I'm just going to make this a straight roll, though. A success means things will go the way Jax is hoping for. I'm going to impose just the one purple die here, because there usually would not be a purple die for this, just because it's a straight-on opposed roll here. But because I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to give him one purple die. He's got 2 green dice. Unfortunately, it's a dark side point up in our destiny pool, so I can't boost anything. I'm not going to use the dark side pool to make this harder, but I am going to roll. No successes. 1 threat. Okay. Vex refuses to pay Jax, as he has. Yeah, there we go. Because he has heard from Vexar what happened and how Jax lost the cargo. The threat is that Vex tells him another screw up like this, and he won't give Jax any more work. For now, that means Jax is kind of stuck here with no income, no money coming in, and he has a box of highly illegal kyber crystals on his ship. Bloody hell. We're going to call this cargo delivery interruptus. Well, that fucking sucks, doesn't it? Jax is still kind of in trouble, so he's actually going to have to rethink what he's doing here. And because he needs some cash, and he needs to be able to get off of Tatooine. And he doesn't have much to go on here, because I believe... sorry, the ship is here. Because I do believe, if we open up the driftwood... we got 28 fuel cells. That's only going to get us so far. It can get us a little ways, but I think I had figured out the calculation for this somewhere, and I believe it was, assuming it's along one of these secondary routes. I believe it was 12 fuel cells. 12 fuel cells, is that right? Going to kind of scan back a little bit to see if I can figure out what I did here. Cells. Yeah, 12 hours per space per square. That's what I figured. 12 hours per square. Major hyperspace lanes, 24 hours per square moved on minor hyperspace lanes. So that actually means 24 hours. It's for every 6 hours, it's 1. So basically, it's along. Basically, it's 4. Yeah, basically, it's 4 fuel cells along one of the minor hyperspace lanes. I'm just going to zoom in here. See what else we kind of got. At the moment, he's kind of stuck. Jackson's basically stuck there waiting now. That's not good. Not good at all for Jack. So unfortunately, we're going to be moving on to our scene 17. And I'm pretty sure Jax was not in control of that scene again. We're calling that a boost in the chaos factor up to 5 again. We're going to just kind of shift a lot of this down. You can see I'm a little anal, I guess. Okay, okay. Yeah, so scene 17. Where would Jax find himself next? He needs work, because he needs to get off this rock. Again, we can just kind of come back here for a second, and let's take a look. What else do we have in the area? Ryloth. Bunch of other things here. Rishi's up here. Faline. It's kind of, but this is we're kind of getting onto. If we kind of follow this major hyperspace route, things will kind of move a little quicker, but that might take us further into the core, which is not necessarily a problem at the moment. But we definitely need to kind of consider finding some work. Rhodia. Is that the Rhodians? I assume that's the Rhodians' homeworld here. It's Swampy jungle. Yeah. Homeworld of the Rhodian species. Of course it is. Makes perfect sense. That doesn't necessarily mean that's where we're going. I'm mostly just kind of curious what we're looking at. So, ooh, Naboo's over here. Scene 17. We got a chaos factor of 5. However, I don't think it really matters. I think we need... So, the way I see it is Jax kind of begins to hang out in the local cantinas. He's looking for any sign. So, if you kind of look at some of the old West End games stuff, like the Tramp Freighters and Platt's Smuggler's Guide, that kind of stuff, it kind of suggests, you know, smugglers don't just kind of walk up to people and be like, hey, you got anything that you want to get off planet? Anything you need me to smuggle for you? You know, they kick back, they hang out in seedy places like cantinas, in places like Mos Eisley, and they listen and they watch and they look for opportunities. So that's kind of, I think, where we're going to find Jax. Probably in a cantina, looking for the potential for work. I'll see, one drink for the road. I should probably stop naming my scenes. It probably isn't really adding anything, but I do find it entertaining myself, I suppose. Let's grab our percentile dice here. So, I'm not even going to test the scene, because I think, yes, this is absolutely going to take place in a cantina. The question is, what is going to happen? Are we going to end up... I think what we're going to do, since I don't really know where to go, is I'm going to simply go check and roll on our meeting tables. Now, do we have possibly like a bar? Is there a bar or a tavern element in here? Because I'm thinking it would be good to kind of have some ideas as to what the tavern might be like here. There's none, but that's fine. Let's just kind of roll for our... Let's get some ambiguous ideas here for our scene. Alright, so here's another question. I'm thinking because he's broke, we're going to do this. Minus 50 credits for docking bay expenses, and then Jax moves the driftwood back out into the desert outside of Mos Eisley. So, because he's going broke. Again, he is going broke as hell. We're going to switch over here. Should be docking bay fees in Mos Eisley. I'm actually going to fix that just because it annoys me. Yeah, like we're just going broke constantly. How many days has it been here? Let's has it been more than 3? Let's just kind of go to our fate chart for our fate question, and we're just going to assume everything's a 50-50 at the moment. I lost my fate chart. Here we go. Okay. So that's crazy. Has been more than 3 days. Yes, extreme yes, more than 3 days. I'm thinking that means it's probably double. 6 days later. On the plus side, that means Jax is healed, so we're just going to kind of nix all the damage. He is days later. Hell. 6 days later, he's sitting in a cantina in Mos Eisley. I'm thinking at this point he's probably become friends with some of the moisture farmers, and maybe is regularly kind of hanging out just in the cantinas, talking to the moisture farmers, and keeping an ear out for any hints here. So let's go to our meeting tables again here. So all right, action tables. 41. Escape. Ooh, that sounds good. Action 2. 3. Escape agreement. Escape agreement. Escape agreement. Ooh. That's not good. That's potentially not good. So I could see that as, is Jax trying to get out of his agreement, or is Vex trying to get out of his agreement? Vex has failed to find a buyer, and he's starting to think he needs to cut his losses. Yeah, so that's what we're going with. The kyber crystals are too hot. Too many people want them. Jax has been injured by two different thieves. Right? Things have gone poorly there. Vex sends a hollow, and Jax gets it, and the Rhodian pops up on a little hollow display that Jax is carrying, and as he's sitting in the cantina, and Vex comes up. Bad news, Jax. We're going to have to terminate our agreement here. You keep the initial 1750, okay? You just keep that. And I'm really sorry here, but I've had no luck finding a buyer, and the more I hear, the more there's people looking for that box. So I suggest you get off of Tatooine and out of Mos Eisley and out of that sector as soon as you can. Jax sees this hollow, and his face just goes red. This is a big problem. Man, Jax just goes from one bad situation to another. He really is down on his luck. Vex that's it. Vex has called off the smuggling contract entirely, but he's left Jax with highly illegal cargo, aka kyber crystals, to deal with. The question is, what's Jax going to do about those kyber crystals? He doesn't know anyone who would be interested in them, except for those who have tried to kill him. And maybe there's the issue. Maybe that's what he needs to kind of look for. Jax is... There's no way... The first thing that comes to mind is maybe he could sell them to Jabba. But after what happened here, I don't think that's doable at all. No, there's no way. It's way too dangerous. Does he dump the cargo? Is he just going to have to dump it? Those kyber crystals are worth a good amount of credits, though. I don't know that he necessarily wants to dump the cargo. But there's nobody to buy them. But he could spread a rumor that he dumped the cargo. Maybe that's what he's going to do here. Yeah, he's going to spend some time in this bar, or in this cantina. Now, what would that be? What kind of skills? That's skullduggery. It could be. This might kind of... might not be quite right. Is it streetwise check or skullduggery check? Let me see here. So he's going to try to spread a rumor that he dumped the cargo in the desert. Skullduggery or streetwise? Skullduggery has to do more with performing criminal acts. Streetwise is probably a little more apropos in this case. So Jax is going to actually kind of spend some time, so I'm just going to give this a single purple die. So Jax is going to make a streetwise check. Yeah, to see if the rumor will kind of actually spread. So for his streetwise, Jax has 3 green, and I'm going to throw a purple die in there. Bingo! 2 successes and 3... Yeah. And 3 advantage. That's awesome. Not only does he spread the rumor spreads quickly and is the buzz of Mos Eisley by the end of the day. That means there's going to be a whole lot of freelancers heading out into the desert looking for the cargo they believe Jax dumped out there. So now he's got a box of kyber crystals, and nobody should be coming for them. That's actually good news. So let's keep moving ahead here. Sorry, I keep doing this, but I mean to. So I'm going to say Jax was... you know what? I don't know. Jax wasn't really in control of that scene because he lost the entire job. I'm thinking we need to bump the chaos factor a little bit more. Yeah. Sorry, Jax. Scene 18. Scene 18 is, I think, going to kind of bring us to the end of the Nar Shaddaa job, at which point we'll start looking for more. The Nar Shaddaa job is kind of ended. It didn't go so well for Jax. So what I'm seeing here, kind of leading into scene 18 of the Nar Shaddaa job here, is that Jax once again is going to be sitting in a cantina. Let's call it the Nar Shaddaa job blues. There you go. He doesn't really have he doesn't necessarily have the cash to get himself off of Tatooine and away. So sitting in a cantina, Jax begins to look for additional work on Tatooine. So we'll make a check against this. 7. Good. 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 We're good. Chatting away with the moisture farmers. Yeah. Sitting in a cantina, chatting with the moisture farmers, and listening for any hints of work. How many days later is this? Let's just roll a d10. 7 days later. This is okay. Here's the other thing I need to do. So we got 6 and 7. We got 13. Because we got provisions that we got to worry about, right? Our consumables are going down. 13 means we're down to 32 days worth of provisions or consumables on the driftwood. Let's make sure that all saved. Yes, it did. Okay, and we're gonna be listening for potential hints of work here. So let's go with the meaning tables again. Is there a better meaning table to use? The adventure tome. There's a meaning table called plot twists. Good to know. Alright. Our meaning tables. Let's use the actions again. 11. Befriend. Second table. 37. Befriend a group. Well, he's already kind of befriended a group. However, this really seems to suggest to me that he has found the rebel. We're about 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, so the official declaration of rebellion is still a few years away. But there are a lot of fringe groups out there. So I'm thinking the next scenario here, the next job is going to involve a resistance group. So I'm going to think about that one. And that's the way we're going to kind of leave things right there. So let's make sure before we forget, we need an obligation roll. So our obligation here has not changed. We're still dealing with 1 to 20 here. Our obligation roll, I need my percentile dice again. 77. So no, once again, no obligation. So I don't really need to change much except to show that I did this. Boom! There we go. The Nar Shaddaa job comes to an end. I'll have some ideas for the next scenario, for the next time that I fire this up. So this has been this has been interesting and kind of fun. But again, once again, Jax and Kay are really not good at this smuggler lifestyle. They're once again really kind of screwed. So we're going to hope they get a little less screwed next time on my Edge of the Empire solitaire campaign. So if you happen to be watching, thank you. Hopefully you get a sense as to kind of what I'm doing here and how I'm making my own solitaire RPG stuff work. I'm kind of having some fun with it. at times there can be a little bit of stress as I try to figure out how to make everything work between Mythic and the Edge of the Empire game and a few other things. But I'm kind of liking this. So episode 11 next time. Again, thanks for watching if you actually are. And may the Force be with you.